And welcome back to the Raider Hookup. Tony, Bova, where are we going to tonight, baby?
Tulsa, Oklahoma, let's go.
Tulsa, Oklahoma is where we going to tonight, baby. And Amanda and Rollo, if we go to Tulsa, where do we go catch a Raiders game, baby?
Out here in Tulsa, we have 918 Raider Nation, and we meet up every game day and for events at Letterman's Lounge, actually in Jinx, Oklahoma, which is just a little suburb of Tulsa.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard. Jinx, Oklahoma. That is where we're going to be headed to tonight with the 918 Raiders. Guys, this is such a great privilege to have you guys on the show again. And we are so happy to have you guys on. It's really cool to see that you guys started your own club and started growing it up by yourselves. And it's a really unique perspective. Guys, what are some of the things that you guys got going on, like here within the next couple of months for your guys' community events?
Yeah, thank you again for having us on. I really appreciate it. Sure. First of all, shout out to Rolando. His birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday to my husband.
Let's go, Rolo.
Isn't that great, man? 44.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I feel like I'm 24, but you know.
Hairs of wisdom.
There we go. You silver and black?
Literally silver and black.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Next thing I wanted to bring up is one of our friends, Brenda, she passed away from cancer on Sunday, literally just a couple hours before the game started. So we are truly heartbroken. She was a former club president of Oklahoma City Raider Nation, our sister club. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to her family and, you know, the rest of our club members and friends, because it was a really big loss for all of us in our community. She was a great person, a great friend, had a huge heart, and we just wanted to give her an honor tonight.
No, thank you guys. Our thoughts and prayers are with you guys and with that family. And just know that Raider Nation is praying for you guys tonight.
Thank you. To answer your question, though, we have our annual Toys for Tots coming up. We are doing our toy drive, the game after Thanksgiving. So next Sunday, we are going to be doing that. And you don't have to be present to donate. You can always send $20, $25, whatever. We'll go get a toy for you. We always provide receipts, of course, and we will donate that. And if we are doing giveaways with that as well, or I should say a raffle, you can win some autographed items, different items that we have set up. And for that, you do have to be present to win. But if you come out, if you happen to be in the Tulsa area, we do this every year. And we partner with KMOD. They're a local radio station here. They are super generous to us. We love them. And we will take our toys and go to their event and kind of collaborate on that. So we're really thankful for them to host us and have a place for us to give our items in bulk, because we do get a good amount.
No, that's awesome. I mean, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Raider Nation all over the world. You already heard. Hey, all you have to do is link up with Black Widow. I'm sure that she'll have some stuff on her Facebook and on her social media sites, and the 918 will. Hey, link up. Let's all link up. Let's be stronger together. Together we rise. You know, divided we fall. So, guys, get out there. Let's send some toys. Let's send some love out there, so that way Tulsa, Oklahoma feels that Raider Nation love.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It is the home of Josh Jacobs, by the way.
Hey, there you go. They gave us JJ. Let's get back, baby.
That's right.
So, you guys will be hosting games every single weekend as well?
Yep. Every game day, we watch the draft together. If for those of us who don't go, Rolando and I typically go out to the draft. I don't think we will this year, but we have the draft, random meetups. We do a picnic every year during the summer that we meet up with the Oklahoma City crew. And so we do a lot of events together. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. Like, so you said you go link up with the Oklahoma City crew and stuff like that. So I don't know Oklahoma. So how far is like Tulsa from, Oklahoma City, and like it's kind of like your location that you guys just like travel back and forth? Because I know that you guys will also be down there for the TBH Dallas release launch party and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting for me to see where demographically you guys are at in Oklahoma.
Yeah, so basically Tulsa's an hour and a half from Oklahoma City, so basically straight southwest of Tulsa. That's an hour and a half. And we also meet up with NWA, Northwest Arkansas Raider Nation. And that's another, they're a really good group over there, man. There's a lot of Raider fans up there that moved from California over there, a lot. So they call themselves NWA, Northwest Arkansas. So they're really good people. We hook up with them too. So it's kind of like like a club. And it's an hour. It's about an hour and a half from here.
Northeast.
Yeah. From here there. So Tulsa's right in the middle of Northwest NWA and then Oklahoma City chapter. So we're kind of blessed in that aspect. And in Kansas City is 4 hours driving distance. They're 4 hours. Dallas is 4 hours. Denver's 10. Houston is 8. So we're like, all the games, whenever the Raiders show up, we try to go there, support, and it's actually kind of nice to be right in the middle.
No, that's really interesting because I was like, I looked at Tulsa on the map and I was like, it's not on the little panhandle part. It's kind of on the thicker part of Oklahoma. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I've never been to that part of the country. So it's kind of interesting to see how you guys are able to network in. And I mean, like when you guys say like Northwest NWA and stuff like that, for me, I'm like, whoa, okay, there's clubs everywhere. And this is what this show is about, is to show that, hey guys, there's Raiders clubs everywhere and that there's somewhere locally that you can go and talk to another Raiders fan and have a beer and enjoy the game and enjoy being part of the community, because we think it's super important. I mean, like Matt, Tony, every single one of us on this show is a club member to some sort of club because we like getting together. We like doing positive things within the community, and we like, hanging out, drinking beers with our Raiders fans and having a good time. Yeah. And I think all that is important. But all right, guys.
Right.
Like you guys said, you guys got the stuff that you guys got going on till Christmas and stuff like that, which is Toys for Tots. And guys, like we said, hey, make sure that you guys get out there and give them support. Now, guys, what are your guys' club goals within the next year or so? What kind of projects do you guys got going on and stuff?
Yeah, we're always looking to do more for the community. So we usually have a sit down after the season ends and we talk about, different charity events that we want to do. Usually, go feed the homeless and more club events to where a lot more of our members can get involved. We do have some members that are like I want to say they're at the games like part-time because they have families and they're busy and stuff like that, but we want to make sure that they still feel included in the club. So a lot of our goals are to just make sure that we get people involved and stay involved. That way they feel like they're still part of our community, more or less, or part of our club.
No, absolutely. And I think that's something that we all have to look at and say, hey, as a club, it's important that everybody feels valuable, that everybody feels involved. And it's really neat that you're bringing that up because we've asked other clubs, and you go like, hey, what's your biggest issue? And it's always saying, hey, retention. Just having people come out and be active, because I get it. It's nice. It's easy to just drink beer at your house and you just watch the game and you don't leave. But let's be real. Football is about community. It's about being together with other people, cheering, screaming at the TV. I'll be like, if you ever see me watching a game, I mean, I can't even have a seat because the seat gets destroyed because I'm jumping up and down. I'm running back and forth. The intensity levels for real. So, yeah, but I mean, that's what it's about, creating that environment where you're at. And I get it. Not all of us can be at Allegiant. But guess what? Yep. We can all sit there and cheer for our team together. I mean, I will, I'll go to the public bar, share a beer with you. Yeah. So I think it's important. Guys, Matt, you and I have been drinking beers together and watching games for years.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, it's so nice to be like, hey, let's go over here. I mean, like, we've been able to travel now a little bit, and you go meet with other clubs and other Raiders fans. And you go like, hey, let's have a beer.
It pretty much just started with me and Will, and well, not really necessarily, but I mean, like, there was another club out here that was trying to start, and that's how we all got together. And some things fell through, after a couple years, and they ended up dropping the club. So we ended up trying to take it over. And like he said, it was the hardest thing was trying to retain people to come back, because we were so used to doing it at somebody's house. And, trying to go to somebody's house, you don't know. People are like, yeah, I don't know if I want to go over there. I don't know who they are.
So
we've done that.
Then we tried to do it at a bar. We'd go to a Boston's or an OC's or something like that. So that, that's where everybody feels comfortable, is in an open area. And then you got your couple people that showed up every week, and then you got people that didn't. So. But ever since we joined, the Eagles, and had, gotten their support and their help with letting us have a space and all that to throw our club, and we've been able to get a lot more people to come back now, So we're gradually looking up.
Yeah.
But
that reminds me, shout out to the Tulsa Packerbackers. We work a lot with them too. Tim, if there's happen to be any Packers fans that ever watch this, but the Tulsa Packerbackers are a great organization. They do a lot. They have a huge fan base here as well. Amazing people. We do a lot of stuff together. In fact, we are season ticket holders for the Tulsa Oilers football, and a lot of the Packerbackers and the 918 Raider Nation, we all go to games together for that. So it's a great time.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I was going to comment on the. No, that's very fine. I was going to comment about the, we're talking about, the club and everything, and you touched on it about being in the bar, but so we had different spots since our club started, and one of the issues we had is basically fans were not showing up because they couldn't bring their kids or their family with them. So we always try to find like a spot where it's kid friendly, family friendly, not really a bar, but like a bar and grill type,
Right.
And so we have one now, and obviously we have way more fans now because they can bring their kids and everything. So that's a really cool thing that we did for our club.
With us today,
those are all growing pains that you guys probably went through, experiences. And so let me ask you guys this: what made you guys decide to start, or I don't know if you guys started 918 Raiders? So okay, okay, Amanda. So what made you decide
that she was crazy, man,
you're like,
really.
He did. He thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
So
because there was not really a whole lot of Raider fans back in the day.
Well, okay. So the reason, so in 2003, after the Super Bowl, I was like, we got to get some fans together. Like, I was 19 years old when I started the club. And I was like, there's got to be other Raider fans here. Like, Raider Nation is worldwide. We already knew this. And so I made it my mission to start a club. So I literally went at 19 years old. I went to bars, just kind of like, hey, knock on the door, different places. Finally found this place that doesn't exist anymore called Cowboy Sharkies. And talked to him, and he was like, yeah, we'll give you discounts, whatever, bring your crew in here. And I was like, shit. Now I got to get a crew. Okay, cool. So I literally hand typed and
the schedule.
The schedule. Hand typed the schedule on one side of a piece of paper. And on the other side, I put like all the information, like this is where we meet at. This is, the times that we meet, what to expect, that kind of thing. And I literally went from sports stores, libraries, because again, this is 2003. Like there wasn't, the internet was there, but it wasn't there. And literally went place to place, store to store, shop to shop, handing out flyers. I kept literally like 100 of them in my car. And anytime I saw a Raider fan, I would put it on the windshield. Or, I would walk around the mall just different times of the week. And if I saw somebody in a Raiders jersey, I hand them a card. And so I started building this community. And originally we were called the Tulsa Raiders Crew. Mm-hmm. And so that name stuck. We've gone through a few different name changes, but 918 Raider Nation just really fits us. But throughout the years, we've met at different places. We've done the house thing too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, we've been through some shit. Raider fans, right?
No. Hey, and that's what. Hey, I got you. That's what we're here to hear.
Yeah,
It's rough.
Yeah, that's what we want to know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
So like when I first started the club,
Go somewhere else.
yeah. And so when I started the club, I would say we had about 40 members at most at the time. Because I mean, granted, reach was limited. And now we have about 65 at most. I would say on average we have about 40 to 50 that show up every game day.
Hey, that's a good average.
Yeah,
wow.
It's a decent size. So, if we're doing really bad, or if it's like, a Sunday night when people can watch it at home, it'll be like maybe 20 of us or
20,
so.
30,
But on average, we have about 60. Well, the week before we had 60 people.
60, more than 60.
Because we were all celebrating McDaniel's gone.
Yeah,
I mean, really, that's really what it was.
I guess the Giants,
that game was packed.
People, man.
So that was really
it brought a different energy. It brought people out. I mean, like, I get what you guys are saying. I mean, like, I don't wish bad on nobody, and I'm not trying to, say because, McDummy got fired or whatever. But I'm like, hey, man, I mean, like, as soon as he got fired, all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, we got like 10 more Raiders fans.
Yep.
Bro, okay.
Like, we doubled up.
I'm gonna be there. No joke.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, man, because I don't feel bad for anybody that makes $85 million and lose their job. I'm sorry, man, but I don't feel bad for that guy at all.
Money on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about changing those contracts for, but that's tomorrow's episode.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like they talk about changing those contracts.
Bro, even if you lose your job.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll be a coach in the NFL for
Yeah, I know.
million.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, throw me in, coach.
I'll fuck up a team.
I'll be your coach.
Yeah, shoot.
I'll for the Chiefs.
Hey,
Come on.
We're gonna have that Black Widow defense going.
Daniels, man. I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah. But anyway, so I started it. Like everyone thought I was crazy. They're like, "Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Because there's got to be other Raider fans that want to watch together." And proved them wrong.
So you said you went bar to bar, you went door to door, basically like putting everything on the windows. And I mean, like, I think Tony, you probably went through the same experience because you've been in the game for a while. Tony, are you there with me?
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen. It's all right. We'll give him a minute.
Let it go.
Hey, so, like I said, I mean, like, we all go through some experiences like that. So when we talk about, you doing all that, what was one of the more unique experiences that you encountered while doing that? Like, growing your club, saying, hey, going door to door, being 19 years old too, I mean, like, you were young.
Yeah.
I mean, people must have been like, who is this little girl?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you for real? Like, you just must be playing.
Yeah, pretty much. Like nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but a lot of people didn't take me seriously. And I'm not saying this to say shit. I'm saying this because it's 100% true. A lot of people didn't believe me because I'm a woman. They were like, this girl doesn't know shit about football. She's a little young chick. She just graduated high school last year. She didn't know what she's talking about. What the hell does she know about football? And I got a lot of sexist remarks, unfortunately. Now, granted, that rarely happens now, but I had to prove myself. I really did. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I did have to kind of prove myself and eventually gain the respect from the male football community. And now they're like, yeah, I've known you since you were like Steve, he's like, I've known you since you were, 18, 19 years old. And, so it's pretty cool.
No, that is awesome. And I mean, like, I bet you just feel like as a woman, you had to put in that extra work. Because I know how it is. I mean, like, it's a boys' club. We could call it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I would call a spade a spade. I mean, football is mostly watched by men. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be like, but if you really think about it, there's a lot of women in this game, man. I mean, and they know more. Some women know more than the dudes. I'm going to be honest. Some dudes go like, oh, I'm a fan. Yeah. You ask a woman, man, she's going to she knows shit that you don't even know. They will bring up shit that when you were dead, you don't even remember. They know that shit, bro. They know if they like football, they're going to know everything about that team. And you're going to be sitting there like, hey, I don't know shit. And that's the truth, man. That's how women are. Hey, I'm married, bro. I know. She knows everything. I know nothing.
Yep. That was a true statement right there.
Yeah. But so you said, okay, being a woman, okay, and growing your club, how do you feel that Raider Nation has embraced? Do you feel like it's been embraced, or do you feel like, hey, you've had to earn your tiger stripes, as they say, through it, or have you been embraced? Because I see you now, and I mean, like, everybody loves Black Widow now, right? But I mean, like, it has to be like, hey, you have to work for that. And I know that you've been putting in a ton of work with Raider Nation. I mean, like, you are all over the place doing community service events, stuff like that, which is amazing. And I'll be like, so can you tell me about that? Like, do you feel like you've had to earn it and work twice as hard as everybody else to get where you're at?
I don't want to say twice as hard, because I'm just like a naturally hard worker. So like, working hard is not, it's not weird to me.
It's
so like,
nature.
yeah, there you go. So like, I definitely had to earn my keep though, because whenever I first started dressing up, it was in 2004. But I didn't really like publicize it or really make an identity for myself till like 2008, 2007. And when I started posting that on like, message boards and, whatever else, MySpace, Facebook, whatever, people told me that I was crazy because I didn't live in Oakland. And they were like, you don't live in California. Why the hell are you dressing up? And I was like, because it's how I want to express myself. And I got a lot of hate for a lot of years. And then I'm not saying I'm first by any means, but I was one of the first people to dress up that didn't live in California that I noticed.
Yes.
And so it started happening more and more. And now you see fans from all over dressing up. I'm not saying it's due to me, because it's not. But now I see it more. You were
a trailblazer for sure. In my opinion, she was a trailblazer, man. I mean, because you had the original super fans in Oakland, right? Mm-hmm. That to me were the first ones, mm-hmm. right? The first generation, and then she was the second generation, basically, So, and then as far as like overall, but as far as like being a hardcore Raiders fan that was not in Oakland or even in California, like she was like one of the first ones out of state,
But see, like, so like, I don't look at it in terms of like who has been a fan longer, because I know a lot of fans who've only been dressing up, and I'm just talking about fans who dress up at this point, but fans who dress up who, I don't like the term super fan, by the way, who dress up that have done wonderful things. And not saying that the older fans haven't, but to me, it doesn't matter how long you've been dressing up. It doesn't matter how long you've been a fan. It just matters that you have a good heart. And that's what's important to me, is that you are a good person, and, so I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're one of the OG fans. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, it's so weird for me to like hear these things, because I don't think of myself as any better than anybody else. I really don't. And like, just because I had these experiences, like before we started recording, I was showing you my Raider room. But just because I've had these experiences, I've just been blessed. That's really what it comes down to. I am truly blessed to have been able to do the things that I do. Yes, I work hard for what I want. Yes, I work hard for what I do. But it's still a blessing to be able to do this.
Yeah. That's true.
So in order for all of these blessings to happen, sometimes you do have to put in the work. And I have done that. Like, we've made an effort to, go out and, meet Charles Woodson or meet Tim Brown, that a lot of people who have been fans, for years will never have that opportunity. And we are very fortunate, again, to be able to have that ability to make those things happen. So yes, I've had to earn my keep. Like I said, people thought I was crazy for it, but now, look where it's happened. So I'm blessed. Nice. I'm honored to be a part of Raider Nation.
No, absolutely. And I mean, like, it's really neat. Like I said, I'm like, if anybody knows your story, if anybody's followed your story, it's really unique to see like the way that you blew up. And I mean, like, it's like Rolo said, he's like, she's one of the first people to start dressing up from outside of Oakland. And I mean, like, I didn't, like you said, super fan. The term super fan for me really didn't come until like recently. Actually, Matt was like, well, there's super fans and stuff like that. And I was like, super fans? I'm like, those are just fans that dress up, right? And they're like,
yeah. It's the same thing that you're right. I mean, the same thing that I agree with her. I mean, as far as a super fan, like, what is a super fan? Like, you know,
anybody could be a super fan.
Everybody
you don't have
can
to
be
wear
a super
costume.
fan.
You
Like,
don't have to wear a costume to be a super fan, you know? Like,
exactly. I mean,
that's just what people typically associate
it with. So the stigma that comes with it is like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and again, like, I don't like the term for myself. Like, if other people want to use it, it doesn't bother me. Like, call me it. I'm not going to get offended or whatever. But like, I personally don't really say it a whole lot. I'll just say like costume fan or like someone who dresses up
or just your
or whatever.
Name.
Yeah. I mean, calling me Black Widow, like, honestly, I answer to it. Like, half the time, I don't even hear Amanda. I hear Widow. Like, most people who know me in Raider Nation call me Widow. And I answer to it, like, immediately. Like, it's like second nature now. But
I get it. Yeah. So let me ask you like this at first, okay? When like you had people coming up and going like, Black Widow, can I take a picture and like blah blah blah? And you're like, who is that? You're like, hey, were you like looking around and going like, yo, who are they? Sometimes like probably even walking by to be like, hey, can I stop? Is it like that, or is it like, hey, you know, at first you're so engaged that when you're just like, hey, okay, cool, boom, 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 you're like in work mode, you know, like stop like paparazzi style. And Rolando has the camera going like pop, 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 pop.
So in Oakland, it was definitely more like it would take me an hour to go from B lot or A lot or D lot or wherever I was and go inside because I was constantly getting stopped. And I will never say no to a kid. I would never say no to a kid for an autograph because I do get asked for autographs, but still is weird to me. Not in a bad way. It's just like, I'm like, dude, I just wear a costume, you know? But like an autograph or a picture, like I'm never going to turn down, especially for a kid. I don't for adults either, but
kids,
but kids is like, that's one of the main reasons I do this, because I want to be a positive influence on kids in the community and let them know that there are women in Raider Nation that have a voice. And so so the Vegas is a little different because the culture has changed. Not saying it's bad, but the culture has changed, and so, you know, I don't really get stopped, which is fine. Like I don't really care either way. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for the notoriety. I mean, we all dress up and we all get some sort of attention from it because we dress up, but it's not like we're sitting here like, oh, I have to be on TV. Like, there are some camera chasers out there, which is fine. You know, that's fine. That's not who I am though. You know, I don't put myself in the limelight. It just kind of happens naturally sometimes. But yeah, getting the pictures and the autographs, and, you know, I have like stickers and patches and stuff that I hand out to kids and whatever, and always happy to give them some stuff, and they always light up, and it just makes my day. That to me, like, means everything to me. To make a child happy and to see them smiling on game day, just the best feeling. Just the whole thing. That's what does it.
Dude, that's what it's about. I mean, like, making somebody's experience a wonderful experience and making them be a Raiders fan. Because I think that's something that people forget, is that it might be somebody's first time going to the game. It might be the only time they ever go to the game. Yeah, some of us are privileged that you can go multiple times a year, that you've been there since, you know, the dirt was on the ground, things like that. But I think a lot of people forget about the person that, hey, this might be their once in a lifetime. This might be their one time that they get to experience this live, and they're going to talk about it forever. Which I think that's a great thing to see, because, I mean, like, with you, like, you know, we went to Denver and we went and we had the tailgate experience. That's where we all met up. We met Rolo, and it was a cool experience. Like, we all talked about it, and we said, hey, you know what? We all kicked it. We all had beers. We all had fun. It's just a unique experience. And that's what you want to give every single Raiders fan when they go. You want to give them that unique experience to make them join the fold, to invite them to the family, you know? And I think that's really cool, guys. Now, you talked about the difference. Okay. in Las Vegas and, Oakland. Now, let me ask you like this. When Black Widow goes to the game and Rolo goes to the game, right? What's the first tailgate spot or first place we stop in to eat? Because good food. It's J-Lot. You get them J-Lot tacos.
Where it's at in Vegas. Yeah, J-Lot's
That's like the mini Oakland, man. Yeah. That's like the mini Oakland. That's basically the vibe, the experience. It's like Oakland. Yep. So you want to go there.
All those tailgates that I kind of mentioned are all there in J-Lot now. It's still growing, but that whole road, that feels like Oakland. That feels like, I'm just going to say it feels like home.
Okay. Hey, that's what's up. Now, when you guys were in Oakland, okay? Now, when we were in Oakland, where did Rolo and Amanda go wet their whistle and get a little snacky snack?
Huh? B-Lot. We went to A-Lot where the black hole was. D-Lot. We kind of just went all over. We had friends all over, so we just hit different spots every time.
So that was like any other, man. That was like, dude, Oakland was...
That was something special.
Man, tailgating, everything was just awesome, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that didn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that.
No.
Yeah, what
Vegas
I heard
is great.
It was really unique with the community, how people would just invite you in, and it didn't matter who you were. Everybody was just like, hey, you know what? Come in, man. Have a drink. Have something to eat. Be part of this, which I think is awesome. Now, we talked about how in a club, we all want our members to feel involved. We all want people to feel part of that. And I think those tailgates really represent what a lot of clubs try to replicate at your local watering hole, your local bar, club, wherever you do it at. I know that everybody has a different place, but I think that's what we try to replicate is that family atmosphere, that where you come in and, your love, people know you, hey, you give your high fives. I think, shoot, I run around like a chicken with my head cut off, dabbing everybody up. Usually, hands in my, like, hey, you can express yourself and be yourself, which is a great thing. Now, when we talk about it, guys, out of everything that you guys have done and everything, what is it that got it started? What is it that made y'all into a Raiders fan? I'm going to start with Rolo. Rolo, she puts that Rolo. You made me into a Raiders fan.
Give you my life story here, man. Basically, I was born in Mexico, 79, Guerrero to be exact, Warrior State, which I'm going to go back home here. Yeah, in December, I'm going to go there for a week. But anyways, I was born there. Didn't know anything about football. Just football, really, soccer. That's what I knew. And then we moved to, my dad signed up for the amnesty of Reagan. I think it was like 83, thinking around there.
Yeah, I think it was 87. I think it was 87 because my parents did the same thing.
It was around there. But anyways, he was granted. It was in the 80s. He was granted. You had to be living here in the U.S. for X amount of years, working. You couldn't have any felony, none of that. So he was clean, everything. So we moved. I was 9, so in 88. Yeah, around there. 88, we moved to L.A. In Sun Valley, up in the North Hollywood area. I don't know if you know where it's at, but it's
so that's where my aunt lives. Is that North Hollywood area?
So she lives up there, North Hollywood, Tacoma area. That's where we lived. And the Raiders were in town. That was LA Raiders, So in those years, and then my uncle
NWA days.
Yeah, Howie Long, all them, Art Shell, he was the coach, So anyways, we were there, and uncle watched the Raiders. I used to see posters, like, man, this is kind of cool, So I kind of watched a little bit of the games, and that's really how I became a Raiders fan. Was living in LA. Whenever the LA Raiders were there. So then I moved here to Oklahoma in 92, 93, around there. And people thought I was crazy for wearing Raiders gear. Back then we had those starter jackets, and
bro.
Raiders, man, what are you doing, man? And so I kept up with them. I couldn't really see them that much, but because I'm living here in Oklahoma, you don't get that. You get Cowboys and Chiefs and Broncos, but then I really started watching the Raiders like hardcore. I think it was 96 when the NFL ticket started.
Yeah.
And my brother, he was a Raiders fan too. I mean, he was actually more of a Raiders fan than I was, because I didn't really know a whole lot of it, but then when he's like, hey man, I want to watch the Raider games, in my apartment every week. So that's really when I really became a full blown Raiders fan, was in 96.
Okay.
So but I mean, I watched it before, when I was in LA, but hardcore, I really haven't missed a game since 96. Not missed.
You haven't missed a game since 96?
Not watching a game. Nope. I haven't missed one game. I mean, I might have missed one, in those years.
I'm sitting here like one game a day.
Yeah, I've watched every game, man. And then I met Amanda in 2000. And
so did you guys meet at so how'd you guys meet? I mean, like, you go from Cali to Oklahoma, and then like what? You were just like, "What's up?"
Always tell you.
We were at the same gas station at the same time. That's all you need to know.
No, I got to tell the story.
Jesus Christ!
I got to tell the story, man.
Same gas station, huh?
Because that's so weird.
No, it's not. It's a cool story.
All right.
All right.
Hit us with it, Rolo.
Have you heard of the butterfly effect? Butterfly effect?
Yeah.
Flap the wings and all that. So basically, if it wasn't for a gas station, a crying fake baby, and a stick of gum, well, I would have never met.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to know more. I need to know more. I mean, bro, with those type of details, I need to know more. What is going on at this gas station? What type of gas station is this?
It was Get and Go at the time.
Get and Go, yeah.
And so
Get and Go.
Get and Go.
Get and Go. So
we don't got no Get and Goes.
No, that's what it's called now.
We got Come and Goes here too with a K.
Yeah,
we do too.
My friend Anna was staying the night, and she had one of those like electronic crying babies for home ec. And it was a Friday night or Saturday night. And there used to be this club called Area 51, and it was for 21 and under. So, like, you could be 15 to 21 to go to this club. And it was a dance club, but they had lots of adults there. They didn't have alcohol, nothing like that. Like, it was heavily monitored, And so I was like, hey, let's go to Area 51. And she was like, oh, well, I have the baby. And I was like, just leave it in the car. It's fine. Right? Because I was so ready for a kid at 16 years old. So anyway, we're driving out, and she was like, I don't know. I was like, well, at least let's go driving, because we used to go cruising.
Yeah.
Let's go drive, at least around and whatever. She's like, all right, cool. So we get in the car with this fake baby, and we're driving, and it starts crying. And she's like, hey, pull over to this gas station. I got to get the key out of the backpack so I could turn it off, because there was like a time limit and all this shit. So I was like, all right. So I pull in the gas station. We have the windows rolled down. We're bumping Tupac, and there's like this like baby crying, right? And so she gets out of the car and she turns it off. Rolando and his friend pull up.
We pull up because we're going to go actually meet some other girls at a club, because we're older. We have fake IDs. So
okay.
We're going to go to not their little youngin club, We're going to go to an actual club, because I'm 4 years older than her. And, so basically,
don't call the cops.
So basically, we're like, hey man, we need some gum, man. We're gonna get these girls, man. Kind of breath kind of stings, man. Let's go get some gum. So we pull up to get some gum. That stick of gum I told you about earlier, Prime Baby gas station.
Yeah.
So and we're like, hey, I was looking at her. I was like, damn, girl, this girl's kind of cute, man.
I had a boyfriend at the time.
I'm like, this girl's cute. I'm gonna
talk to her. For the record.
I'm gonna talk to her. Yeah. She avoided me like I had the plague, man.
Because I had a boyfriend.
COVID. I don't know, you take
but Anna was single.
She's like, all that Raider stuff on that, dude?
Yeah.
He was wearing a white shirt with a plaid overshirt.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. And his white jeans and black shoes. And I thought it was hot.
I was ready for the club, man.
I was boyfriend at the time.
Yeah. I did.
You had a boyfriend.
She did, bro. She was not
so
into
he
me.
was trying to like talk to me and stuff.
I was trying to put the Mac
I was being
bro.
nice, but at the same time I was like, I have a boyfriend,
Yeah.
And so And then, so like, anyway, long story short, a couple of days later, like he and his friend went over to Anna's house and they were hanging out because I had a curfew. And so, a couple of days later, my grandmother passed away. And so I called my boyfriend at this time. His name was, well, I'll make up no, that's fine. I was calling him my ex. He was like, I called him and I was like, hey, my grandma passed away. Can you come over? And he's like, I don't know. I don't really think I have time today. And I was like, you know what? Just forget it. Like, I was pissed because it wasn't even like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, whatever. So he shows up like a few hours later and he's like, well, I'm here. And I was like, well, you can leave. And like, I was so pissed. I was like, it's done. So a couple of days later, I called my friend Anna and I was like, do you have that guy's number? And she's like, yeah. And so I called him.
Yep. And the rest
here comes Rollo. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm coming with on the horse, with the shield.
Yeah, literally. The shield.
He had the Raider shield. He had a swashbuckler. He's like, let's go.
Let's go.
Black mustache.
Yeah, with the bristling back. I mean, I didn't have his gray, but, it was bristling black back then.
Yeah.
All right. So you meet Rollo, and then you figure out he's a Raiders fan, and then next thing you know, hey, bam, you just jumped on the Raider bus.
Well, then I told her, hey, because I met her. Yeah, I met her in it was in March around. It was early, so football season was over. But then we started dating or whatever, and then I told her, hey, just FYI, on Sunday, my attention is on the Raiders.
And I was
every
like,
game.
Oh, no.
Sunday, Monday, whatever, it's going to be the Raiders. She's like, well, I mean...
I don't know who the Raiders were. I didn't know who they were. I had heard of the Broncos, the Packers, like I had heard of a couple other teams, but I wasn't
like,
really
what is that,
football.
a hockey team? She's like, is that hockey? Is that basketball?
So she didn't really know. I mean, we went to a big football school.
My high school was big.
Yeah,
I used to watch the games there, but I didn't know NFL.
She knew a little bit about football, but not really professional football until she met me with the Raiders. And then...
So I started watching the games with them, and I thought it was boring at first. I really did. I was like, ugh. But I didn't understand it, right? So finally, I saw, like, Rich Gannon throw this really long touchdown to Tim Brown, like, kind of out of the corner of my eye. And I was like, well, that was cool. And I was like, what was that? And he was like, oh, that was whatever the play call was. And I was like, what does that mean? And so he started explaining it to me, and I was like, this is actually really cool. So because back then you didn't have, like, TiVo and shit or whatever to rewind, right? And so he would explain the game during the game, which I know a lot of guys hate to do. So I was like super appreciative of that. And he was like, yeah, first down is this, and you get to switch the ball at halftime, and this is how many points this is, and this is a safety. And so like I learned like and even like free agency, he started teaching me about contracts and how that works and how unrestricted free agent works and restricted and literally the ins and outs of everything. And then most importantly, he taught me the history of the Raiders.
Yeah.
And that to me really grabbed my attention. And I was like, this is fucking honor right here. Like, this is dope, man. Like, I'm just getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, the history of the Raiders, the trailblazing that they've done really struck a chord with me, especially being a woman and Amy Trask.
Yep.
And I was like, this is awesome. This is what I want. This is what I want to represent. Not just what's on the field, because back then we were doing good. I was like, not just what's on the field, but our history. Like, that's awesome. And so, like, I fell in love with it. I really did.
And tell them what the moment was when you
the moment I knew I was a true Raider fan was when Sarah Gusa sat on Rich Gannon and broke his neck, and I fucking cried. And I was like, obviously, I love this team if I'm getting emotional over this, right? So like, I knew I was a fan before then, but that like solidified it.
We had a solid team that year, man.
Yeah.
God. The AFC Championship game in Oakland.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I got you. I'm like, and that's really cool to see how emotionally involved you got, because honestly, a lot of people go like, oh, it's all the guys that get emotionally involved. And I'll be like, we get angry. We probably like throw at some TVs and stuff like that. I know I've broken 1 or 2 TVs in my life, so I'm not going to say that I haven't, but I'll be like, just hear like how emotionally involved you were. And it's really cool to hear like that you guys are almost in the same boat, like me and my wife, I cheer for a team. She'll cheer for the team because, hey, I'm involved. And it's a family affair. When it comes to the Raiders, it's a family affair. And it's really cool to see how, you met the guy from the gas station, just reeled you in to be like, hey, let me show you my addiction. And, because I'm the same way. I tell my wife, hey, on game day, Babe, I am dysfunctional. I like for those hours of those time. Yeah, I'm dysfunctional. I'd be like, that's my time to, release my stress. Even though the Raiders do bring me a little bit more stress sometimes.
We all deserve free health care from the Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's my time to join my family, to join my people, to spend time with the same people that think the same way I do. And it's like you guys said, Raider Nation is so big, so encompassing, so many different characters, so many different cool things going on. I mean, every single time I talk to a different club or I talk to a different Raiders fan or, a super fan or whatever, they all got something going on that they want to help people. That, we want to help our local communities, that we want to give, that we want to be people out there showing people what it is to be Raider Nation, to show them, hey, we love everyone. We want to bring everyone in. It doesn't matter, whether you're my girlfriend from the gas station, whether, like I met my wife in a college classroom that she didn't pay attention to me for 9 months. I had to chase the cat for 9 months.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah, I mean, we had to put in that extra work, bro.
It was like mine was about 9 weeks, bro. So I mean,
mine was 9 months of sitting in that classroom, like extra close. Like, hey, bro, I was sitting in that classroom, like, hey, can I borrow those notes, girl? You're looking kind of nice.
Yeah.
But
I hear you, man.
It's really
what about
cool.
You, man?
Oh man, yeah, I thought
How'd you become a Raider?
Here we go. This is a good one.
I actually met my wife online. So yeah, I had my daughter with another girl before I met my wife, and I went through a bunch of custody battles and stuff with my daughter, but I met my wife during that process. So, she's an awesome lady. She's been there for me. She didn't know anything about football when I first met her, so she's a Raider fan. My kids are Raider fans. We didn't meet cool special kind of way like a gas station or anything. We met on.
Nah, he did that Facebook pimping. He was like, he's like, swipe right.
This is like my first time getting Facebook, and she's the first girl I met.
We actually had to work, bro. You didn't work, man. Your fingertips work.
These hands got calluses on it.
He was like,
so how'd you become a Raider fan, though?
Me? So, I live in Colorado. So, I grew up in Colorado. So, I was actually born in Texas. And, long story short, I don't live there no more. Anyways, yeah. So, I live in Colorado, and growing up we played football all the time. We played football in the streets. We played football in the parks with all of our friends, So, I didn't really get into football till I was, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 and actual NFL, and I remember it was, I have an uncle and he was a Harley rider. He rode Harleys. He'd come in, and see us every now and then, it was every few months he'd come in, or maybe once a year, he'd come in, and he'd come in on his Harley, and I always thought it was the coolest thing because you could hear him just pull up to the house on his Harley and the whole block rattled. He'd come inside and he'd have his long biker hair and all his leather on, and he was just a diehard Raider fan, So we sat down one day, and I remember it was a wild card or a playoff game. I can't remember, but I remember it was Tim Brown and Jeff Hostetler. It was Los Angeles days, and they beat the Broncos that game. And I mean, everybody in my house is Bronco fans, so except for my uncle, But I just had this connection with my uncle that it was just. Sat down all the time after that and watched Raider games so I could catch them because I didn't have Sunday Ticket or something like that. I just got my local TV channels. I grew up with 3 TV channels my whole life. So I got what games came on, and it was usually a Bronco game, and it was usually who they played, and I'd have to catch scores like on ESPN or something like that, or like so that's kind of how I became a Raider fan. During the Bronco times and stuff. Watching them get beat was awesome. And,
Do you ride? Do you ride too?
no, so my brothers do. I am in the process of wanting to get one. They're really trying to get me into getting one. So
I just started riding.
We both did.
I started training. I mean, I'm old as hell now, 44, but I just started doing it, and I was like, "This is kind of cool,"
Yeah, we're looking to get bikes probably in spring.
My oldest brother's got one, and he loves them, man. And all his buddies ride them, and he's always trying to get me to get one. He's like, "Man, you gotta get one." So my wife told me if I could get her a car, which I did finally. So now I can start looking into getting me a Harley, So
yeah,
there you go.
And you live in the best state and all of that too.
Oh man, Colorado. We live in like the best area for a Harley. If you want to own a Harley, come out.
Yeah,
guarantee you're gonna be like.
One of these years we'll get out there on our bikes.
Yeah, I'll be like, we got the Grand Mesa.
Yeah, the Grand Mesa. Like I told you guys earlier, Grand Mesa is the biggest flat top plane in the world. So it's cool, man, and it towers. Like we're in a bowl of pretty much flat top mountains, and man, it's nice out here. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Shoot, maybe we need to start the first Raiders Harley ride in Grand Junction, Colorado. Let's do it.
That would be cool.
Yeah, let's Raider out. Let's Raider out Grand Junction on Harleys. Let's go.
Right out, or we can fly in and rent a Harley.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, I look at one, maybe call her Black Thunder.
Right next to the airport.
Yeah.
No,
there ain't no lies. I'll be
awesome.
like, it'd be awesome. I think that would be a great time. Shoot, let's get as many Raiders fans as we can get. Hey, y'all heard it right here. Hey, let's go Raider out the Mesa, get some Harleys going, and let's have a good time. Hey, I'm down with that idea. Well, all right, guys. So let's move on to our next question for you guys. All right. I asked how you guys became Raiders fans. I know Amanda said Rolo. Yep. So, and she told us how heavily involved she got. All right. So, last question for you guys. Okay. If this season, was to make you and say, hey, this is what's going to make me into a Raiders fan, retrospect. What do our boys need to accomplish this season? Or what do we need to do as Raider Nation to say, hey, how do we hook that fan that is watching, that is not sure that they want to become part of Raider Nation? So that's the tough. I know it's a tough question because it's so general. But I want to see your guys' question. I want to see the answers. Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead. I know what I want to say, but you go ahead.
Well, I mean, as far as like this season, what you said to a potential Raider fan?
Yeah.
I would say our head coach, man, Tony Pierce. Tony Pierce is it, man. I'm telling you, he's got that. He's got the command. He loves the Raiders. He grew up in Compton. I mean, he's a player's coach. The players are playing hard for him. A freaking linebacker is playing like the best linebacker in the league right now with a broken hand. I mean, he just go down the line, man. I mean, the guy, he got cut by the freaking Titans. That's when you know you got a good coach. When they can bring the best out of players that were not overlooked by other teams, you can say. Spillane. I mean, you can just go down the line, man. I mean, there's been especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, that defense is playing. I mean, so I would say the head coach, has turned that ship around. He's 2-0. He brought that different mentality. Players love him. I mean, you can just see, the turnaround that has happened in the season already from just him being there. So I would say that to any fan out there, that potentially be a Raiders fan, just watching them from afar or wants to be a Raiders fan. It's just the head coach, man, the tradition, the history of the Raiders. I mean, everything that embodies them, that alone to me is worth being a Raiders fan.
And to add on that, overcoming adversity. I mean, we did that once already with Gruden, and now here we're in kind of the same vein, as it were. Another
Yep.
interim coach that's having to clean up the mess, and damn, is he not cleaning up that mess. And I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, we're going to beat Miami and the Chiefs these next 2 games by 1,000,000 points, but if we can at least put up a fight out there, I'll be happy. You know what I mean?
You ain't lying, girl.
So,
that's all I want. I just want to be close. I want to be in a fight. I mean, like, I want my team to just represent, and that's what it is.
And the defense, like, we haven't had a defense like this in a long time.
That's what I'm saying.
That's another key point that I would say to, like, new fan, like, especially Spillane. Like, my game ball of the week goes to Spillane. I know I could give that to a lot of different guys.
I second that.
Dude, man, getting that interception with his broken hand wrapped up, like, holy cow, man. Like, that right there was.
You don't really find players like that these days, man. Like, the players actually want to play. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't. I mean, a lot of players collect paychecks,
How long has it been since we've had players that have been wanting to play like that,
That's what I'm saying. But
so like,
what I'm saying is it's because of the coach we have in place now, man. Mm-hmm. Players want to play for him. They want to play for the team.
Agreed.
They're proud of wear the silver and black because he projects that. He wants that out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he demands that, and he gets it. You can just tell, man. I mean, you can just look at the team. Like, Devontae's out there dancing like he's just having a blast.
He looked like Marshawn in that locker room.
When did you ever see that? You never saw that. That's what I mean. So, like, yes, to answer the question, I definitely think they're going to put up a fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Chiefs, man. I wouldn't. The Dolphins,
I'm expecting to split.
The Dolphins will be tough. I mean, the Dolphins will be tough because they put they're going to want you to wear those black jerseys, sit on the sun side, so you can basically drown in your own sweat. So
they do that to us every year, which I think is bullshit.
Physically, it is. It's physically demanding already playing in the heat. What's
the weather going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be humid as hell. Wow. But so I can see that kind of messing with us. But I think, having Antonio Pierce as a head coach and what he's brought to the table and how he demands, the best from his team, I think we're going to be ready, man, to be honest with you.
81 for the high Sunday in Miami. Yeah. So it's going to be warm. And 69% humidity. Yeah. So.
Yep, that's exactly how Miami is.
Like I said, I really think they're going to put up a fight, and I think they might get Kansas City. Kansas City's barely squeaking by, man. I'm telling you, they're just not.
That's the one thing I agree with you. I think we're going to split right there. I think we're going to split one game with Kansas City. A lot of people don't think we can beat them, but I think we split. And if we split that one, ooh, baby. I mean, like, hey, we just got to win a couple. But I got what you're coming from. All right, Matt. So, Matt, same question for you, bro. If there's a Raiders fan right now, what do we got to do as a team or as an organization in order for you to be like, man, I'm going to lock into the silver and black?
Well, they pretty much hit it with the coach, like you got to have that coach to give the drive to the players, and once you get your players involved in that and they buy into your system and like you said, take AP, for instance, look at him right now, from Josh McDaniels, who had just a straightforward, this is how we play our game. This is what we're going to do. No questions asked, don't even ask me. Just go, to, hey, let's play Raider football. Let's not play this Patriot football. Let's not play Chiefs football. Let's play Raider football. Because when you see the Raiders play, people love the Raiders, man. Even if you don't like the Raiders, man, people are like, damn, when the Raiders play tough, people talk about the Raiders, man. And that's what I can say about that. If you want to become a fan, watch Raider football. Don't watch Patriot football. Watch Raider football because they're tough, they're hard nosed, and they don't give a fuck. They're like Max Crosby. They're out there. They got a motor that runs 24/7. And that's a Raider, and that's if you can get hooked on that, and you can fall in love with that, you will be a Raider fan for life because there is no in between for a Raider fan. You don't have that. I like them here and I don't like them there. You got the love or you don't. So if you can get to that with the fans' attitude, or not the attitude, but the players' attitude, and be a fan and get that attitude like they do when you're sitting on the couch, like Will says, you can't sit down. We don't sit down. Chairs are empty the whole game, so.
You can't sit down, man.
So,
well, yeah, that's a funny thing you say that, man, because right as you were saying that, as a matter of fact, I go to the gym here in town, and there's this Cowboys fan that he told me, he stopped me, he's like, hey man, he's like, bro, like, yeah, I like the Cowboys and everything, man, but I watched that Raiders game because I know I like the Raiders, and he's like, damn man, that defense, bro, is flying around, and that coach you got,
sir.
bro, that dude is like, he's like, I want to watch the Raiders now, and this is coming from a guy that doesn't like the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he saw that, he's like, dude, your defense is flying, like they play like hard nosed, like old school football, and so that was kind of cool to another guy,
too, because we're Bronco country, it's all Bronco out here, but they're the same way too, they may hate us on the field because we're rivals, but man, when we're doing good, they can't stop talking about us, man. They are always, you go to a bar and they're sitting there like, man, the Raiders look good, dude, like I can't believe how good they look.
They do.
But when they do bad,
man,
they talk their shit, man. Like,
yeah, they do.
Yep.
But yeah, it's refreshing for sure, man. And it's just like that's the kind of defense that I like to see, man. Like, of course, any fan, but
the NFL does better when the Raiders are doing better.
That defense,
absolutely, absolutely.
It's true.
And you guys ain't lying. I mean, like right now, I'll be like with Raider Nation locked in. I'm sure we're some of the biggest fan bases in the world. I mean, like I've traveled all over the world, guys, and I'm telling you guys right now,
yep.
I got players that have played for me that are in France that are like, oh, Charles Woodson is dope. I got players that have played for me in Germany, and that Raiders football is huge. So, guys, we're going to wrap up the show. I'm going to steal a page from our head coach's page right now. I'm going to bring a little bit of the energy. And, guys, we will see everybody Wednesday for some more Raiders football, baby. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining the podcast. If you guys are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, hit up the 918 Raiders. Go down there to Jinx, Oklahoma. Get you a drink. Join Rolo. Join Amanda. Have a great time. Participate in raffles, guys. They got Toys for Tots. Help out. Raider Nation, come out. Bring some of that community love and make sure we support each other. All right, guys, until the next episode, it's all Raiders. Guys, and it's a